hello to all the viewers out at cadred.org. It's the second interview of the day, and it's with Anexis, the guys that actually, I would say you surprised a little bit, because I don't think a lot of people saw you beating VeryGames 16-4. I definitely don't think VeryGames saw you beating them 16-4. They were quite mad when you were done with them. So yeah, Anexis. And I guess we're going to start a little bit back. We're in a league that you've not really played that well in. It's the ESCA league. I think maybe perceptions have changed a little bit about you guys, because when you started it, you were still considered to be one of the top teams, even though the LAN results weren't, you know, they weren't as good with us. Basically, it was a couple of unlucky situations. But in the ESCA, you didn't really make it happen either. So first of all, what went wrong in ESCA?
Actually, it was just we changed our roster at the day we started playing ESCA, so it was kind of hard, and we didn't manage to play our game. And with lots of new maps and shit, we just lost some bad matches, and since then we had, we just played very bad in ESCA. So.
We also, because we changed the roster just before the league started, we decided to not have a high priority on the league. You know, we were not pragging Dust, and we were not pragging the Cage and whatever we played. So when we played those maps, we lost, of course, because Fnatic and other teams played those maps and have a little on them. So our results in this year really didn't reflect our level at that stage, to be honest.
So what do you think about the perceptions that are changing about you because of that? Because I don't think a lot of people have realized this, and I think they had quite high hopes of you guys, you know, maybe pushing for a third or fourth spot. So do you think, like, do you notice maybe enemies not taking you as seriously in pracs? Do you maybe notice people on the public or on the community sites saying stuff that's really not true just because of the ESCA results? They don't really see what's happening behind the scenes?
Maybe a lot of people have underestimated us and think that we are bad and so on, but we couldn't care less actually. It's just good for us. They don't expect anything, and they don't see our tactics and shit, so it's only good for us.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't shown our real skill in those leagues, so I think it's been to our favor to this LAN, for an example, that people didn't think we were that good as we actually were, just because we didn't have the high priority on the online leagues.
So, you didn't take ESCA very seriously, and I guess that's why the results weren't that good, but you didn't play an EMS at all just yet, and they've already started two of the cups, and I think there's only 4 in total. So are you just going to skip EMS 1 entirely, or are you planning on playing in the latter 2 cups?
Well, I guess we really haven't decided that yet. We are maybe playing the cup number 3 and 4. We don't know yet. The reason why we haven't played the first and the second cup is because we, as in ESCA, we won't make that mistake. You know, show our tags, show our things before this LAN and Copenhagen Games and HK LAN. We down priority the online leagues.
So you're not in the Star Ladder League either. Could I say that in generally you maybe think that official games are a little bit overrated right now, that they take too much time, they're taken too seriously, and a lot of teams are not really complaining, but they're saying we're playing so many official games, we don't even get around to pracking. Is that maybe part of the reason why you're not in the Star Ladder either, or is that just something totally different?
Star Ladder is because we got banned, because I actually don't know.
I think we leave the league because Kayuns, when we played with him, his computer broke down, so we couldn't play the matches, and we couldn't find a 6th player, so we just decided to drop out, and then we get a lifetime ban. So I don't know. They are a bit crazy over there.
Yeah, I've got to admit that's quite steep. So let's go away from the negative results, and let's go into the positive ones, because you actually won a LAN last weekend, HK LAN, and I was amazed at the turnout that this event had, like 50 teams or 45 teams. A lot of really good teams were attending. Eyes on You, you guys, Fnatic, some good mixes. Hasta La Vista was there, and you guys came out on top. Firstly, I want to ask, just you seemed really inconsistent, if I may say so. You've won every match you played there in the end, I think, but you lost the first map more often than not. You actually lost a match, I think, against a team called Simply Shredded, which was just a mixed team, I think. You lost the first match 16-2 or 16-3 and then came back with two 16-2 wins. It's like, what's causing this discontinuity in your scores?
Yeah, it happened a lot at the K lane. We lost first map so many times. I think it's because we are not focused from the start. I guess we underestimated many teams. So yeah, and when we lose the first map, we say, hello, we need to win now, and then we just do it. Yeah, I just think it's unfocused from our point of view.
Yeah, sure. Maybe it's because we're kind of new team. Also, we have only been together we've been practicing together for a month at that time. So we weren't really played the maps done. We haven't practiced them done, if you could say so. We weren't happy about how we stood on the maps exactly. So maybe we just was a little unfocused and needed a little more, routine on the different maps to just take the first map and then go on from there.
So, do you think maybe it's helped you a lot? Because when you put in these pressure situations, you really get to know who you're dealing with, and you really get a lot of experience of that, rather than, let's say, you would have just won every map and you would have just gone away with it going, well, guys, we fucking rock. Right? No one can touch us now, and maybe the fall is even harder in that case. So do you think it was a good experience in that case? It's not only negative?
Yeah, it's a good experience in another way. If we just won every single map and really showed that we were the best team in Denmark without any problems, it would have been an experience also, but not in the same way, of course. I think that we lost the first map, I think three times, I guess, in BO3 matches, and after that just won pretty confident on the next two. It's good for us. It's good for us to know that we can stand for the pressure and we can deliver after we have kind of failed in the beginning.
So what HK Line also told us is Anexis I think you're considered to be the best team in Denmark, but I think that's also because you've played in the most international lands. I think you got the most exposure, and I think that's the name that pops into people's heads first, because if you look at it, they also have Fnatic, they also have Eyes on You, Logics. These are all teams that are actually quite good, I think, and internationally all of them could do damage. I think Fnatic showed that. I want to ask you, first of all, who is your biggest competitor in Denmark, do you think, out of all these teams that are just below you? Do you think that maybe you stand above them head and shoulders, and there's, it's basically solo reign right now, not anyone can touch you really? And I also want to ask you, out of all these teams, who do you think is going to progress the most? Because there was a lot of mixed teams at the LAN as well. If those will stay together, and if those will maybe challenge you someday.
I think the strongest competitor in Denmark is Eyes on You. I think Fnatic is not that good. They need a new strat caller to call the tactics. Before then, I don't see them be the best team in Denmark. But yeah, Eyes on You made a good result against us, and they played really well. So I will call them the second best team. But I think we are above the people.
Yeah, I really don't agree, to be honest. Maybe because the underlevel us is just so close. There is 5 to 6 teams that really can beat us on a good day. So there's Copenhagen Wolves, Eyes on You, Fnatic, maybe an upcoming team with some Sapso players and Simply Shred mixed players. There's this core of 5 to 6 teams that can beat us on a good day. And I think the strongest of them in the future will definitely be Copenhagen Wolves. They were so good in Source, and they have Fetish as their caller, who was Denmark's best caller before Glaive popped out as a caller. So they will be good, and Kayun also. And about Fnatic, I don't think they just don't play enough. They don't have the dedication that needed to be good in this game, to be honest. There are some really good individual skilled players, but before they realize they have to play as much as everyone else, all of them, not just 3 or 4 of them, they won't be good enough for international level.
All right, we're getting down to the end here, but I do want to ask you one of the significant updates, because CSGO is continually being updated, and I think the biggest one in The last time was the pistol updates, and it totally screwed up the Deagle at one point, and they overpowered the Glock, and I think the balance is getting back a little bit, but I think maybe you guys still disagree that some changes need to be made. What would you say to the developers to fix the pistols right now?
I think the only pistol working properly is Glock. I think every other pistol is shit. The Deagle, no one used the Deagle. That's something I want in the game, in the echoes, to make it more exciting.
Yeah, I agree. I also want Valve to kind of make a plan, you know, release a schedule for what they're going to do, because the big problem with CSGO right now is that you don't know what happened. You don't know how the game looks like in 1 month. And if you can get a plan and a schedule to watch that and like see, okay, what can we expect from the future, and not just stand in and don't know what happened in a month, you know, because that's the real problem with CSGO now, and one of the only problems, I think. Maybe the pistols can be tweaked a little bit and buffed a little bit, I don't know, but when you have the 7 map or 5 map you want to play, and you want to play them for years, and you have the game, you don't want to change mainly anymore. We have a really strong game in CSGO, but when you change it all the time and we don't know what happens, and in a month we can have a Deagle that is better than Colt, you don't know, so it's kind of new.
All right, so let's get back to the very final question here. Obviously, you've been doing quite well. You won your group, so you're definitely not going to face Ninjas in Pajamas, I think, in the quarterfinals. Firstly, are you surprised? Like, what did you expect when you went into the group? Because it was quite a hard group. So how did you experience these results? Were they expected or not? And then secondly, how was the organization as a whole? Are you happy with the way that we've organized it? Do you have something that you say you definitely need to change this to make it better? Give us feedback on our own event.
Yeah, well, at first I think the groups for our was fine. We knew VeryGames, they are a strong competitor. They are run up to 3 events, I think, after NIP, so we knew that was going to be a hard game. Also Alternate from CS Source, they were really strong in the end at Copenhagen Games, where they finished second, I think. So we knew that would be some hard matches. Logics also, they were also good in Source in the last state of the game, you know, so we knew we had a hard group. So just get a top 3 would be difficult. When we played the first game against Alternate, it went like we kind of expected, a close match. We followed each other a long way, and then we decided to win. You know, they could do the same, but we had a little more to give off. Against Logics, we struggled a bit in the beginning, mainly because they play on a way, they play on a way that the teams at Copenhagen Games, at HK Land, sorry, we also lost the first map too. They play a kind of, you know, run around and have a really good aim and play individual skill, very good, and they're good at it. So we struggle a bit with that because we haven't played together for a long time. So we had to step up and play our own game before we got back in the game, and we did. So, and VeryGames, the match was just a fine match. We all 5 from the team played like they should do, and we did what we have agreed to do. So, and it went out to our 40. Let me see, our favor. Yeah, it went out to our favor. Sorry. I don't know what. Yeah, the second question was.
The feedback on the event.
Yeah, I think the event is fine. The computers is good. I think it's very cool. Maybe you could try next time to fix some 120 hertz monitors, but it's not that a big deal. It's fine. Yeah, and I think Metal has something to add.
No, not really. I think it's great. It's a great venue and great computers, and yeah. Only thing is the monitors. So yeah.
I want to thank you guys for doing the interview, and obviously the best of luck. You can make a really good run if you stick at it, especially after beating VeryGames. I think everything's open now, and that's really good. But what I want to do is I want to give you guys the last words, shout-outs, or to fans, sponsors, and all that.
Yeah, Pimp is gonna talk, and I'm gonna.
Yeah, we thank Razer for supporting us, make this possible to go to Vienna. It's cool, and Anexis want to sponsor us, so that's great. And also Fik and Liqueurs, of course, so it's great. It's cool they want.
And thank you for the interview. To all the viewers out there at Catz.org, this is definitely not the last one. We're going to get a lot more interviews and a lot more video coverage, so please do stay tuned.